Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Look at us. We have mic stands.
God damn, we're getting professional up in here. Yes,
We
I
are
love it.
motherfucking professionals at this point.
Yes.
We now have mic stands.
It feels weird.
It feels like we're professionals.
I know. It's kind of like...
Are we moving up in the world?
I feel like
we can't forget the humble times.
Exactly. The humble times of sitting on Rose's closet floor, holding our mics.
But literally.
Yeah. Or actually even better, when we were in separate countries and,
Yes.
going through Skype.
Yeah. I
And
mean, that's semi-professional.
Yeah. And then we were like recording on like 7 different devices and I was trying to like splice it all together. And it was a hot mess.
But yeah, we decided to get mic stands. Why did we get mic stands?
For a number of reasons. Well, one, we wanted to,
No. There's one main reason. It's because our mic was having issues.
True. Well, okay. There's two. Well, I feel like there's two reasons though, because we did.
Well, there was one main reason
Yeah.
because we wouldn't have gotten it otherwise right now.
That's true because yeah. So basically, one of our mic cords is having like a bit of both of them actually. We got these mics, and I guess their lifespan is approximately a year.
Not even.
Because mine started being funky, and it was causing us like lots of recordation issues.
Yeah.
So I got a new cord, and then the cord that I got was like super short, so that's why I'm always sat near here by the computer because I can't go too far. And then today I was like, hey, I'm gonna look for it because Roses started acting up last week, so we're like, oh fuck. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to like Best Buy or whatever and get one of these cords. And they only had the like 3-foot cords. So
but
I was like,
I ordered these before that.
Yeah,
Because I was
yeah.
like, you know what? This is going to keep happening. Let's just get mic stands.
exactly.
We going to be professionals.
And actually, I'm already liking this so much more.
I love it. Oh my
Like,
God, you guys. We're so professional. Okay, so Joe Rogan, watch out. Just saying.
We are coming for you.
We be the new frenemies.
Oh, goddamn. Goddamn, Rose.
We be perfect for that role. But we want to start the show as usual with our Patreon shout outs.
Definitely.
So thanks to you guys, we got some mic stands. Let's just put it that way.
That's very true. That's very true.
So if you want your name shouted out, then check us out on Patreon. You get a bonus episode every month. And what did we do for the month of June, Daniel?
Oh, it's a juicy episode, guys. We're gonna put some teasers out there, but we definitely had an epic reaction video
to Freely's video on Cheap Lazy Vegan, aka me.
that thinks that, for example, Rose is an uneducated vegan that binge eats.
And I'm a drug addict.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you guys want to hear that, it is in our June Patreon exclusive, which is not yet out.
No, wait.
It went out.
Yeah.
So check it out. Link is down below. It's patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. So we'd like to thank Anna F.
I like how you did that on purpose, didn't you? Because Rose is like looking
This
through.
name is hard to say.
Raun?
Ron or Round?
Yeah. Apologies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Next, it's Karina.
Vilma.
Virginia.
Ooh, nice name. Jamie.
Keith.
Erica.
Natalie.
Destiny.
Carol.
And Adrian.
Thank you guys so much for all the support.
Yeah.
Thank you for these lovely mic stands.
You guys are helping us get a little bit more professional. We're improving that sound quality for you.
Yeah.
That professionalism.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So for this episode, we're going to be a little bit sweaty because it is very hot.
So hot
But
today.
hopefully you don't mind us being a sweaty mess. At least we don't have to hold a mic.
This is true. This is one. I'm like actually don't even know what to do with my hands right now.
I know. I'm
feel
like, what do I do?
like I'm missing something in my hand.
Anyway. What are you missing in your hand, Daniel?
A mic.
Oh, okay.
A mic situation.
Mic-shaped things.
Rose. I actually.
Speaking of, never mind.
Okay.
I was
I actually made the mistake of going for a run right before we were recording this podcast.
Seriously, guys. He needs to be supervised at all times.
Well, because the thing is, I went for a run last week and it was like 26, 27 and it was very hot. But I was like, today, when I looked at my phone earlier, it was like, again, 20, it was like 26, 27. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for a run after work. Going to do an 8K. I'm going to crush it. Didn't realize as I was running, I was like, it feels super hot. I was like dying. And then I went to do a post on Instagram, like for like just to be like, oh, I ran. And you can put the temperature of where you are on Instagram. It was like 32. And I was like, what? I just ran and I came home and just like passed out.
Good job, Daniel.
Yeah. That's my story today.
Okay. So shall we get into the stories?
Oh, God damn.
Of the day?
Okay. Well.
What stories you got for us today?
Well, the first one I wanted to talk about, I don't think it's like such a huge story. I don't even actually know who this person is, to be honest. I'm like really bad when it comes to sports. Yeah. I'm really bad when it comes to sports. I don't really know much about sports. But I guess this gentleman named Carl Nassib, he became the first active NFL player to come out as gay. So I think what they mean by that is like there's been lots of players that have come out after they finished their careers, which again, I feel like, okay, yes, this is a very positive story. And we'll go into it a little bit more. So, but at the same time, I just feel like sports is still such like, we talk about like how, even in my lifetime in the 20 years, I was going to say 20 years Daniel. I've been alive. That's a stretch. In my 33 years of life, it's definitely come a long way in like LGBT rights and people being more open-minded. But I feel like when it comes to sports, I feel like that's the area that's like just really hasn't broken through. And
it's that toxic masculinity, yo.
God damn, it is. Like, and I feel... I just really, I hope eventually, I mean, I'm sure it will as more and more of these stories like come out. But I guess this gentleman decided to make an announcement via Instagram. So he did a video along with a written statement, just like coming out of the closet, and was just basically, telling people that I guess he did it more for like other people that are, in sports and that kind of stuff. Cause he said he's actually quite a private person and he's also going to be donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project.
Which is
it's like a foundation that helps LGBT. It's like a suicide hotline, I believe, for
I see.
like LGBT youth and stuff. Because one of the statistics, which I think still reigns true, is that suicide among youths is the highest in the LGBT community.
For sure.
But yeah, so I mean, in many ways, I think it's a good story. Like it's a positive one. But I just feel like there's just such a long way to go in like sports. Because like, have you ever been to a sports game, Rose?
Excuse me, that is rude.
No. I'm just asking in general. Like I wasn't.
That looked judgmental. He's like, have you ever been to a sports
game?
Yes, Daniel, I have been to sports games.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been to a few hockey games.
Yeah.
I've been to a few soccer games.
Very nice. Yeah.
Probably not football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been to a football match before.
Oh, was it macho as fuck?
It was, yeah. And the thing that gets me is like I actually had a really good time there. It's super like I'm not into football or anything or into like really any sports, but I like going and I'm watching and it's like the atmosphere, having drinks. But it's still like I can see like as a gay man, I feel a little bit less comfortable those kind of events.
Oh, I see. But do you think like one question I have is like, do they need to come out? Like, is this like a thing? Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like he said, he's a private person. I do get it to some degree. Like, for example, like, we want to make this more accepted. But then at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's like, why do we put the pressure on people to come out? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I see that.
Especially to the public. It's not anyone's business.
That's true.
I don't know. I think I'm torn.
Yeah, I think I'm torn as well on this one because you're right. Because like we don't put that same pressure on other people to be like, hey, you need to announce like, Rose, did you come out as straight to your parents? Like,
well, but that's not even it. It's just like, like it's just the fact that like, just because you're in the public eye, do people have to know who you want to date and
what your sexuality is?
Exactly.
It's a tough one because I think on one side I'm like, if I was in the public eye, that's none of their business. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I would think that, especially as someone like growing up and what I saw in media and portrayed and everything else, I think I would appreciate it. If other people came out to make it more like acceptable.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now that makes sense.
I think, and I think more so, and this is maybe like me being weird, not weird, but like I think more so in sports because.
True. Okay. You know what? You make a very good point.
Because for example, like this guy's story coming out, there could be like a lot of, and there probably is lots of LGBT youth that play football.
True.
for example, that are like nervous about it, and and not even that they have to come out to the public, but even just like to their friends and family.
Yeah, it's like representation.
Exactly, because then now, like when they're with their family, because people are like, they'll see other people that are like, and their parents like, oh well, it's okay, son, because there's another gay successful football player. So
I mean, hopefully that's it's okay that you're gay because. Look at this other football player who's macho. But you're right. Now that makes sense. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way, but like that makes a lot of sense. It's like it's about making other people feel like, especially in a world of sports, people just like don't expect like a manly man to be gay for some reason. So it helps actually. He's probably just doing a public service, I
think that's part of it. Like that's probably why he announced that he's also donating to this charity,
which is like very good.
Yeah.
And he probably felt a lot of like. Just uncomfortable just in general as a sports player to come out. Yeah. So
it's again, it's like, I feel like we, like as a society, we have come a long way, but it's still,
anyway,
but yeah, I think the whole like coming out and stuff, it is like a very like, it is, as someone that has come out, it's like a very personal thing. It's very like, I don't know. And I think it'll be amazing. You're right. Like when we eventually get to a place where it doesn't matter, right? Where like you don't have to come out, where, like if you were even growing up in school, if two guys were dating, it was the same, or two girls, or, someone was trans, like nobody would care. Then no one would need to come out. It wouldn't even be a thing. Right. But I think because you have especially certain industries and stuff that have like really toxic masculinity, another big area would be like rappers. Right. So I think that's why someone like what's his name,
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. Yeah, like someone like that, again, for like young LGBT kind of like youth that love rap and stuff like that. Yeah. They have someone they're like, oh, okay, cool. He's gay too. Like it makes it more like accepting. But I like in an ideal world, like it wouldn't matter. Right.
Like in the far, far future when like this is no longer a thing, then it shouldn't matter.
Like it would just be amazing. Like if our kids, for example, like went to school and they'd be like, oh, mom, this is my friend, and they're like, when you have like little crushes and stuff, this is my friend Brian and he has a crush on Kevin or whoever, you know what I mean? And no one would even care. Like,
maybe the next generation.
Oh, God damn, who knows?
I think we'd be getting there.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Because really, at the end of the day, like, I just don't get why some people are so caught up over it.
I know. It's like, it's so messed up.
And it literally, like, it makes no difference to your life. So why do you give a fuck about it?
I know. Well, speaking of homophobia.
God damn, what be going on?
Well, Roses? I got a story. God damn. It'd be interesting as hell.
We'll be the judge of that, Rose.
It's what's going on right now in the podcast world, actually. So I thought it was interesting.
Is it something with Dan Savage?
Nari.
Oh, God damn.
Nari.
Nari?
It's actually with a podcast. Maybe we've talked about this podcast at some point. It's called H3H3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We talked about frenemies and stuff.
Yeah.
So H3H3 is like the main podcast. And then frenemies, I think, was part of the show.
Yeah.
But it's not about frenemies. So basically, the host of H3H3, his name is Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
I guess he's kind of like more on the, like politically he's around like what we believe, I think. Like maybe liberal, left wing, whatever you want to call it.
I saw this. I know you're going to
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know the full story, but didn't someone come on his podcast and
Yeah.
I won't take your thunder. Yeah. You talk about it.
So basically, so it's kind of interesting because these two channels I kind of follow separately, but they're in kind of different categories of YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like very different topics. But H3H3, they just kind of cover like usually just kind of trendy topics like we do, but more so like, like pop culture, YouTube culture, like, social media, dumb people, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, but anyway, so normally that's what they do. But recently, Ethan Klein has been kind of like, talking a little bit more about like politics and maybe kind of like, showing that he's, more left leaning and stuff. Yeah. And I think he made some comments about masks and so on and so forth.
Was he an anti-masker?
No, he's not an anti-masker.
Okay.
But then he got into some like, back and forth with this other YouTube channel called Steven Crowder.
Okay, I don't know this guy at all.
So it's called Louder with Crowder or something.
Okay.
And so Steven Crowder is like I don't know if he's like, I think he's quite political, but he's like very much on the right wing side of the spectrum.
Okay.
So he's like very conservative, and he's very known to be like incredibly like homophobic. Okay. He makes like, he's very racist. Like I saw him making comments about like black people and just kind of mocking them. Like he did this story about like black farmers, and he was like, and how they're getting like subsidized or something.
You know who I think would be a perfect match for him?
Candace Owens. Yeah. But he's racist. He wouldn't date her. She's black. She's still, you can't change you might be able to pretend, but you can't change your color.
That's
anyways. So
oh God.
Anyways, so Steven Crowder is like known for that, right? So he has a very big show, which is kind of disturbing, on YouTube.
Shows you how many extremists are out
I know,
there
like it's actually really like disturbing to see how many of these people, like how many followers some of these people have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Steven Crowder, one of the reasons why I know Steven Crowder is because this is like a very weird like combination of so many different channels.
Yeah.
So another YouTube channel that I follow that I've talked about before on the show is called Majority Report. So that one has a host called Sam Seder, who's like an older guy. But he's been in the political talk show game for a little bit.
Is he the one that I've seen as well? That like he's like really like he's good, like he's very interesting.
I don't know, which one have you seen?
Is it it's not the one that you have a crush on, is it?
No.
Okay.
Although I kind of had a crush on him too, but he's like a much older, so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have a crush on him. He's like an older man where you're like,
yeah,
because he's like smart. Okay, yeah. I get it. I have a thing for like smart guys that are like, anyways,
well articulated,
exactly.
Know some things about politics.
Exactly. Love that shit.
Single men out there, they're trying to woo Rose. There's some tips. Okay.
That is totally my jam.
Yeah.
Someone that like kind of has the same political views as me, that's like articulate and intelligent. Anyways. This guy, he was also in an episode of Sex and the City.
Was he?
Yeah. He used to be an actor.
Yeah.
Again, this was like years ago. And anyway, so that's the funny thing about him. Anyway, so Sam Seder is the host of Majority Report.
Yeah.
Ethan Klein is the host of H3H3. And then there's Steven Crowder that has his show.
Yeah.
So the funny part is that Sam Seder is like quite good at debates, I guess. So... And he has like, people call into his show and he debates with people on the show. Yeah. And he's done lots of debates in the past. And he's been wanting to debate Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder likes to debate like random college kids on college campuses. He'll be like, this is what Ben Shapiro does too. Like they always go to some kind of fucking college campus where kids are obviously a little bit, maybe they're not as, good at debating. Maybe they're not used to it.
Or they're like intimidated by these like big names coming in.
They're just a bunch of random college kids. It doesn't mean that they're like 20 years old. Like, anyways. So that's what Steven Crowder does. So then Sam Seder is like, well, why don't you debate me instead of debating all these college kids? And I guess they were supposed to debate many years ago in a conference called Politicon, which is like political conference.
It's like
VidCon
or Comic-Con.
Yeah, kind of, but like just for people that are like into politics.
I kind of want to go to one of these, like these
Politicon.
No, well, Politicon would be cool, but like any of them, like Comic-Con or any, where like people get dressed up and like get all crazy.
Politicon people don't get dressed up. That's Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Or there's another one that's like anime focused.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really know.
Yeah.
You should dress up and go.
I think I will.
Should we do it next year? Anyways.
We'll vlog, guys.
So Politicon, I guess, like, again, so because it's a political show, a political conference, they have a bunch of, hosts of political shows, and sometimes they do debates. So initially, Sam Seder was supposed to debate Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
And then Sam Seder is also kind of like a little bit of a troll.
Okay.
So I guess initially they were supposed to debate, and then he found out that Steven Crowder's team had pulled back and said it was canceled. So then he was on a call. Because
he was intimidated to go on to debate him, right? Probably because he's so used to debating those college kids.
Exactly. So he got on a call with one of the organizers of the Politicon thing.
Yeah.
And then he recorded this conversation, and then she was like, "Oh, I think he has cold feet," something like this, right? She said that, and then since then they call him like Cold Feet Crowder. And then everyone's like, can you please just debate? Like, because the thing is, like, this is what I would do if I was like, I don't have cold feet. Like, like, I would just debate him. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking debate him. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, you know, like I'm sure if you come prepared, like you have your arguments, like whatever.
You won't look so
but the
stupid,
entire time
maybe.
he's been like ignoring. And then finally, sorry guys, this is a long story. I'm sorry if you know what's going on, but anyways, later on, basically, Ethan Klein and Steven Crowder got into this like back and forth. And I guess one of the producers of Ethan Klein's show, the H3H3 show, he also watches Majority Report. So he knows the whole, you know.
Did he get him to call in?
Listen, he knows. So H3H3 knows about this whole like, you know, Cold Feet Crowder situation.
Yeah.
So then initially, so of course, Crowder doesn't have a problem debating Ethan Klein because Ethan Klein doesn't do political debates.
Yeah.
So he probably thinks I can own this guy.
Exactly.
So then they schedule a call together. And then, no, this is the drama. So initially they scheduled a call at a certain time.
Yeah.
Right? And then they were going to get Sam Seder to come in. Okay? Like secretly. But what happened was.
Word got out.
That show, no, nothing got out. Okay. But Sam Seder's show that day ended like a couple hours earlier. They actually did the show earlier than usual, and they ended it earlier than usual so that they could meet the schedule for the Steven Crowder show.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what's his face? Steven Crowder actually backed out on that day saying that he has some kind of emergency or something. So he's like, can we reschedule? And then Ethan actually talked to Sam Seder and was like, I think he knows that you were going to come on because you ended the show early.
Yeah.
So then the next week, but then apparently Sam Seder was like, no way. That sounds ridiculous, right? Like that sounds a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Like, how can he know?
Yeah.
But then the next week, the time that they suggested for the next time happened to fall like exactly when they go live. So Majority Report goes live, and that time fell exactly when they wanted to reschedule. So then Majority Report's like, this is kind of fishy. So then they actually ended
pre-recorded.
Exactly. So then they pre-recorded it.
Yes, I'm fucking loving this story, guys.
I know, right? It's so good. Oh my God, last night I was like watching this whole thing. I was like, oh my God, this is like pass me the fucking popcorn.
Yeah. Oh,
I was like, oh my God, this is so. And then, oh my God, you guys have to like watch it. Like, it is golden.
So what happens? Tell us.
Okay, so then Ethan Klein, they get on this show.
Yeah.
Steven's on, Ethan's on, and then they somehow ninja like fucking Sam Seder in there. So initially, and then all of it. Oh my God, I've never seen a guy so nervous. Like maybe no, he was definitely fucking nervous. Okay, because he would not, like, he literally did not let Sam talk for like a second. Like it was just constant. And the thing is, like, he's already on, but his excuse. So Steven Crowder, you could tell he's like nervous.
Yeah.
And I think he already like was thinking like maybe Sam's gonna come on.
Yeah.
So he seemed nervous even from the start when it was just him and Ethan. It was just like weird, you know. And then.
Because he probably maybe in the back of his mind was like maybe they're gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the crazy part is, so you know how like Ethan was like maybe he knew that you were gonna. That's why you ended the show early. Steven Crowder mentions almost in the very beginning when Sam comes on something about his show ending early the week before, meaning that he was monitoring the show to check if it was ending, which is why they canceled it.
Oh my God.
Like they admitted, like I think he accidentally admitted it.
Yeah. By just saying, oh, I noticed your show ended early
something about the
last
show
week.
Exactly, which means he was, because like why would he randomly watch a Majority Report, right? Yeah. And how could he know that the show was ending? I listened to the show. I don't know it was ending early.
Exactly.
I would never know it's ending early. How the fuck did he know? He had people monitoring that show to check if it was ending early.
And then had a family emergency. And then the funny thing is with all of this, guys, like I am loving this story, by the way. I didn't know the full intricacies of it.
It's so good.
It's so golden because I just love the part where it's like, so they decided to schedule the next one during when the Majority Report happened so that they knew 100% that he'd come on the show. Like, this is crazy.
And it's like, and the thing is, listen, and then his excuse was basically like, oh my God, like, what did he say? Oh, his excuse was that Sam Seder is like a clout chaser and that he just wants to get big by going on like this show. And I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid because you have very different audiences.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm not going to randomly, just because you come on Sam Seder's show doesn't mean I'm going to fucking follow your show because you're obviously opposite of what I believe.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense. It's not like you're like, you know, like collabing. Like, this is a debate situation.
Exactly. This is what I don't get with that. It's like, yeah, especially if you have two like polar opposites.
Exactly.
And like, you're not gonna, like, a whole point of like doing a collab and like getting more people onto someone else's show is like, if the shows had some kind of similarity where they're gonna pull audience from each other, like not from two people that are debating.
Exactly. So it's like, it's just so obvious that like he just like is too scared to debate. Like it's obvious, because the thing is, like, if you got into that show and you got tricked and somebody came on that you didn't want, you should just talk to them. Like,
didn't he walk off the show though?
Yes. So he never let Sam speak. He was just, it was like kind of like crazy. They were just yelling over each other. And then,
guys, I'm going to watch this right after this podcast. So I need to see this.
And then like he was shitting his pants.
Yeah.
And this guy, and he's just like, basically his excuse was that Sam Seder, because the thing is, Sam Seder, the majority part has like over 1 million subscribers. It's not like it's like a tiny show. Like I would get it if it's like, they have like, I don't know, 1,000 subscribers, but they've got over 1 million. He's one of the biggest, political shows on YouTube that's on the left. Like, yeah, Steven Crowder has more, subscribers, which is kind of sad. He has maybe like 5 or 6 million.
Yeah.
But still, it's not hugely different. So his excuse was like, oh, you won't, like, why would I debate you when my audience has no idea who you are? And like, and I'm like, well, you debate, like, the whole argument is like, you're debating random college kids on campus. Why can't you debate somebody that actually does this for a living?
He said on the actual podcast, like, why would I debate you?
Exactly. He said, why would I debate you when your channel is much smaller than mine?
So then already, just from what I've learned, his argument is flawed, because he was already scheduled to debate him at the...
No, he was... Oh, so he said he was never like, his argument is like, he was never scheduled. Exactly.
Yeah.
But his thing is that, oh, I don't want to debate him because he's much smaller than me, which is a fucking like dumbass excuse.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, why you don't want to debate somebody because they're small, they have a smaller audience than you, like, literally makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and again, it's not like, I would get it if like his audience was like very little, but like he has a pretty large audience, and it's not hugely different. Like, he's over 1 million, you're maybe like 6 times bigger than him, but like whatever. That's anyways. It's so good. And then I just can't
believe that. I love that they like, well, the like trickery and the fact that like they were like, oh, we think that he didn't show up because the show ended early, like the other guy's show, and they were like, he thought that maybe they were already planning this. So then they purposely scheduled the next time while that show is supposed to happen. So then the other guy pre-records his show. Because he normally does it live. He ninja'd
that shit.
Yeah, and then just like comes in there, and I need to see this shit. Like, that
is so good. And then Steven posted something else, being like, "Oh, H3." Anyway, I think he was like butthurt.
Yeah. And well, he would be. I mean, he probably looked stupid on it.
He looked fucking dumb, because it's like, it's so obvious when you like don't even engage in any conversation. Well, again, I get it. Like, if you could just be like, this is a little bit like shady for you guys, but I'll still sit here and talk to you because I don't want to look like an idiot. Because if my fucking nickname is Cold Feet Crowder, I would want to at least prove myself that I'm not. Like, I am happy to debate you, but it's like, he's fucking scared shitless.
Yeah. I think there's like there's a couple ways you could see this, because I do think, okay, on one hand, I'm like, he should have like, stayed and debated and stuff, but then also there is a little bit of like manipulation or trickery, not manipulation, but like
of course,
but
yeah, I mean, that, and that's his whole shtick now. He's basically saying like, oh, Ethan, you like, pussied out of the debate, like blah blah blah, like you just got someone else to come in. But like, I don't even think that's what it was. It literally was just more like, I think he wanted to like do the whole, like, it was just like a funny thing for him to, because Ethan's a little bit of a troll as well. Yeah. So I think because his producer mentioned already that like this guy's like trying to not debate Sam Seder, he wanted to kind of like, make him look more of a fool. Yeah.
Well, and of course, obviously for H3H3, this is a smart marketing strategy as well.
It's so good.
Because everyone's like, oh, we just want to eat this up. Like, let's watch this.
And even like Majority Report's like probably growing because of this. Yeah. Oh my God. It is just gold. This is the kind of YouTube drama that I live for. Yeah.
But it's just like, it's kind of like not, it doesn't look good on your channel if you're building your channel on being debating, like debating people, and then, not holding your own when it comes to a debate,
because I'm pretty sure his thing is, again, I would understand if you don't debate, like in general, like I'm not really comfortable debating, like I don't really debate in general. Like, so, but his thing is like, he debates people. Like, like his thing is like, he'll go on like a campus and be like, gay people are evil, change my mind. And then like kids will like sit and like, they'll like engage in conversation. And of course he probably edits it out so that he only gets like the ridiculous kids. Stuff like this. Right. So he doesn't like, again, if I were in his shoes and I would like want to clear my name, I would definitely try to clear my name.
100%.
And that was his opportunity. He could have sat down and at least had a conversation.
Exactly. Well, and I think, you know, you have a fair point. Like, you could have said, oh, guys, like, you know, this wasn't what we agreed on. Like, does make me a little bit uncomfortable because I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah.
However, like, let's, you know, let's
and
engage
to me,
in this.
That kind of seems so disingenuous too, in terms of like, do you actually believe the things that you're saying, or are you just trying to gotcha people? Because because like, again, you can have different beliefs and you can have a debate based on your individual beliefs. So like, why can't you just talk? Like, why can't you have this conversation?
And especially if you guys, if your whole I guess shtick and what you're doing is built on two opposite ends of the debate, right? Like, they're both like very clearly on the opposite end of the debate. So actually, you're right. They should have built a foundation of arguments of which to use against each other.
Exactly.
Right?
Like,
so
if someone were to say, like, let's debate like universal healthcare, we'd at least, like, we might not have all the facts.
Exactly.
We might not be the most articulate, but we would at least have a certain, you know, level of argument to say. Even if it was someone that was like much better at debating than I am, I would at least have something that I could say.
You'd have some points to bring up.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
but he was not having it. They did not have a debate at all, and he just left the show. But then what's funny is that his audience, because Steven Crowder's audience is obviously very intellectual, but his audience is like, oh, Ethan's such a, you know, he should have had the debate. Like, this is like not, you know, like blah, blah, blah. But I don't think they also know like the whole backstory of like, you know, the Cold Feet Crowder situation and the fact that like he's been trying to debate this fucking.
Yeah. And like you said, like he was, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but was he not supposed to?
He was scheduled to go
at Politicon,
I think so,
to debate each other.
Yeah, they were supposed to be scheduled, because that's why they said he got cold feet. Yeah, because that means, you know, he backed out, right?
Yeah, because he didn't fulfill his, his obligation.
It's just so good.
Yeah, in some ways, like I can see, like it's a complete. Actually, no, it would be a different circumstance. Because I was thinking, like, imagine like myself, like you know, if we were a massive podcast, which we're gonna get there, guys.
We're getting there.
Yeah. And we, for whatever reason, had some kind of like online enemy that we were like just like not on good terms with, I guess. Well, not that they're saying they're on bad terms. And then another podcast brought us on and then brought them on. Yeah. It would be uncomfortable. Like, it would be like, oh, you never told us this. Yeah, it would be very
uncomfortable.
But I think either way, I would still try to like stay, depending on the circumstance, I think. Depending on the circumstance. And just like, again, you're right. Like, articulate what our end of whatever argument would be. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think, well,
I just don't get, like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm also trying to think of that situation. Let me think. Yeah. So I got on a show. Yeah. And then, no, I think because they're on the same, like, again, Ethan Klein and Sam Seder they believe like similar political beliefs. So like, what really is the difference between you talking to Ethan Klein and you talking to Sam Seder? Yeah. They're going to have similar arguments, but Ethan Klein's a much easier target is basically what it is.
And at the end of the day, it just looks really, you're right. It looks really
poor. Looks bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you could have just had a conversation and he just would not even, like, literally it was just people talking over each other the entire time.
I have kind of an example.
Okay, tell me.
I just thought of one. Okay. It could be one, like, okay, so you know how you have your like vegan channel, right? Yep. Yeah. And it could be like they get you on a show and
Freely comes on.
No, I was not going to go there, Rose.
Well, I would talk to Freely.
I know you would.
I would talk to Freely.
Freely, you want to come on the podcast?
Who should we infiltrate?
Oh God.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, but I was thinking an example whereby, again, and I think even your audience, it would reflect poorly on you if this happened. Yeah. If originally you were going to debate, like, let's say somebody that's like a cattle farmer or something, or not. I don't know an example, or like a really. Oh, this is going to sound bad. No, I don't want to say cattle farmer, but let's say, okay, you have two people. One of them is like not so educated and they're a very like hardcore believer in like meat consumption and everything else versus like a doctor that's like studied nutrition and whatever else and happens to be on that side of the spectrum, right? Originally, you were supposed to have an argument about veganism with the person that was like not as educated. And then they surprise you with this doctor who you weren't maybe on good terms with. And all of a sudden you're just like, I don't want to debate them. I'm leaving. Basically.
See, no, I don't buy it. Because you know why I don't buy it? It's because he knew the show ended early the week before. Yeah. So you could tell he obviously was scared of Sam Seder to begin with. Now we can make the argument like maybe they shouldn't have infiltrated, but it is very clear that he was actively trying to avoid the show.
But and I'm just going back to that example. It's because it looks bad because you're basically like you said, one was an easy target and one wasn't.
Exactly.
And if you are part of that kind of industry or political views and things like that, and you walk away from that, it's going to look poorly on you.
Yeah. That means you don't really, maybe you don't stand by what you believe, or you don't know the facts, or you don't, And again, like if he was not used to talking to random people, then maybe I would understand.
Yeah.
But he does it all the time with, dumb college kids,
It's a cop-out.
It's such a cop-out. And like he just outed himself so hard when he said the show ended early the last week,
That's priceless. I'm so glad that
it was just so golden.
Were you just like watching it like...
I was just like, what? Well, at first I was like very confused because everyone was talking over each other.
Yeah.
And then like, and I think I watched that clip like multiple times because it was just so entertaining.
Yeah.
And then like, I remember at one point Sam Seder was like, how did you know I ended my show early last week? And then after Steven left, they like talked obviously with like Sam Seder and Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, oh my God, he admitted that he was monitoring the show, because there's no other reason that he would know. Like,
well, of course,
no other reason.
Because like, why would you even bring that up?
Exactly.
Oh,
it's so golden.
That is.
Oh God. And this guy's just so insufferable that like, I'm just so happy that he, but again, he maintains that he, like whatever.
The sad thing is like his audience, like I feel like they're going to be like, blind.
They are already.
Yeah. And that they're going to like, be like, oh, boycotting like Ethan and like,
Well, I mean, they wouldn't have followed him anyways.
Yeah.
But like they were saying, they think so each side thinks that they won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any winners. I just think that we just proved that Steven Crowder, because they didn't have a debate, so there's no winners. Yeah. But like we proved that Steven Crowder like really does not want to talk to Sam Seder.
Well, which undermines his whole platform of being this like master debater.
Mm-hmm. Which he is not.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's so good.
Like,
I love the internet sometimes. I just love it, and it's like the two worlds that I watch like colliding in one, and I'm like, oh my God, it's just so great.
Yeah. Sometimes there's just some golden stuff out there, and I feel like. We
need some drama like that. This is how you grow.
I know. I don't want no drama like that.
You don't.
Though,
oh, goddamn true. I isn't ready for drama.
I'll be on the loser side.
Why you bees? That's not true.
No, I don't know. I just think sometimes like there's been so much. Like,
okay, Freely, let me know when you want to debate.
Goddamn roses.
That's the closest thing to drama I've had.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I was thinking like there's been actually quite a lot with with Ethan's channel H3H3.
There's so much drama with.
So much is going on right now with that.
Like the Trisha, like
but I mean,
frenemies.
Trisha's just like a ticking time bomb.
I mean, I don't know what is going on with Trisha.
Well, she apparently like, and again, I don't want to I don't know the full story, but apparently she was mentioning that she has like some mental health issues.
Oh, she's mentioned that from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I think we're aware.
Yeah. Which again, I mean, I think that she needs to kind of maybe take a step back and get that sorted.
This is the thing. Do you want to live your life on the internet when you have so many issues that you should probably deal with, maybe deal with it?
100%. Like what is the first thing that they tell, like for someone that's in the limelight, that's like, a celebrity, like doing all this stuff, if they're having like, issues, they're like, take a step back, deal with that, get yourself in a good place. And I think that resonates with anyone. Like some people might be like, oh well, that's her job, and I'm like, yeah, it is her job, but at the same time, like if it's not being productive to your like mental health, sometimes people take career breaks, right? Like you take a little time for yourself and figure out what's going on. And I just feel like with her, she just hasn't done that.
Right.
She's never taken herself out of the.
She's fully on the internet.
Yeah. And then like, so like, I feel like with her stuff, like I don't really watch any of her stuff. I just saw with this drama with Ethan, just like so much back and forth as well. Though one moment she's like saying he's the worst person ever. The next she's like apologizing, and then next all of a sudden he's a liar. Like there's just it's just like all over the place. And I guess it feeds into maybe like with her mental illness. But again, I'm like just take a break. You like.
Do we have any updates on what happened?
No,
okay.
I
mean, clearly she hasn't come back on, so that's interesting.
Yeah,
but like. Isn't it crazy that they're like sister and brother-in-laws, right?
Yeah, because
they're in-laws.
Because she's
engaged to his wife's brother.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine, oh my God, I would die. Imagine having that as a sister-in-law.
Imagine your family reunions.
God, seriously.
Like I'm sure she has some like great traits or whatever, but I think ultimately she just needs to like get herself together.
Oh
like
God.
Take a break.
God.
Take a step back. We all need that a freaking mental break sometimes. And
or maybe she knows everything that she's doing and she does this for attention. But I would argue that also is a bit of a mental illness. If you're doing all this and acting.
Exactly. Because I mean, I don't know what person in their right mind to be honest, would
behave.
Exactly. Because like no matter what, like if I knew right now, like if I could guarantee, which I can't, but like if I can guarantee that if I started acting batshit crazy right now, like not right now, but like just doing random shit on the internet, acting, whatever, that it would get super famous, I still wouldn't do it.
True.
Like, because I don't want to put that image out there, and I don't want people to like, you know.
Yeah. Because let's be honest though, like we could all do that, and it's pretty much guaranteed like at least some level of success if you act like absolutely crazy and like, you know, because people love watching that shit, right? So
I mean, it is. I mean,
or randomly start calling people out, you know, just like stuff like this. It's actually pretty like easy to do that if you have no shame.
Exactly. Yeah. If you start listening, I think it's like the whole like calling people out, but then I would think of people that actually follow those channels, like eventually, like, and then maybe the first initial one, you're like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
But then after a while, you're just like,
I know.
Oh my God, like I actually can't sit through this anymore.
Yeah. It's true.
This person is bringing me down now.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you need to take a mental break from the mental break from watching someone have a mental breakdown.
Oh my God, seriously.
God damn, it's like those crime shows. You know, you can only watch so many.
Oh my God, I got back into it.
Oh God damn, and then you got to take
true
a step
crime.
back.
It's bad. Why be getting back into it?
So, one quick recommendation.
Oh God, is it true crime?
No. So, well, true crime is what I recommend. Didn't I recommend that to you? Or no, Real Detective or something?
No, true crime in general. I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about
crime,
the show. Is there a show called True Crime?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, what show are you going to recommend?
So I've just started watching something recently.
What is it called?
It's called Manifest.
What is it? No. What
is
it?
The concept is really like weird, but I kind of like I'm really into it.
Is it about law of attraction?
No. So
give me the concept.
It's about this. So I'll give you like the premise, guys, and it like, you know, decide to watch if you want. It's not like the best show I've ever seen, but it's just kind of interesting. So what happened was this plane, you know, a bunch of people went on holiday to Jamaica. Now,
did you tell me this? Okay, sorry,
no,
keep going.
I don't know if I did. Well, maybe I did.
Keep going.
And then the plane was supposed to come back to the United States, to New York. And what had happened was a few of the passengers, they'd overbooked some flights. So they offered passengers like $400 if they wanted to stay and get the later flight. So a bunch of people were like, oh, I will. And part of this family, like the mom and daughter, they went back to New York, but the husband and son stayed to catch the later flight.
Oh, God.
So anyway, the later flight was flight 828. And it took off. And, you know, they're in the plane. Everything's like going on or whatever.
Is this spoiler alert? A little bit?
No, because this happens like right at the beginning, and it's like the premise of the whole show.
Sure. Okay.
And then what happens is the plane gets into like a huge amount of turbulence, right? So they're in the air and everyone doesn't know what happens. And then the turbulence calms down. Everyone's like, cool. And then they go to New York to land. So as they're coming to land, the air station's like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, we're just coming down to land, like blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, which flight are you? And they're like, well, flight 828, whatever. And they're like, well, you're gonna have to land in this airport over here. Had a bunch of police there. And everyone's like, what is going on? Like, why is all of this shit happening? And they were like, you guys can't be flight 828. And they're like, why? They're like, because that flight went missing in the air 5.5 years ago.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then the whole show is like based around this. Like these people, like for the people on the plane, literally no time had passed. Like they'd like landed back in New York, and like it's all like how they get back together with their families, and some of them had like found new partners.
Oh, so at this point, so the people on the plane, they just thought, oh, we're just getting back.
Yeah.
But then basically 5 years had passed.
Yeah, 5.5 years.
Oh my God.
So like the families that got the first plane all were home and thought everyone had died from the other flight.
Oh, wow.
Because they were like, we don't know where this plane's gone, no trace. And then the people that were actually on the plane, all they did was felt a little bit of turbulence.
And then it sounds kind of cheesy.
I mean, it does. It is kind of cheesy.
It also kind of sounds entertaining.
But the concept, I was just like, that's so fucking crazy.
It sounds like one of those movies where it's like you meet somebody, you fall in love, and then you find out like, and then they like leave or something, and then you find out that they're like ghosts or something, you know, like they've been dead for like 5 years. It's always 5 years. It's always 5 years. 5 years is it's like the five-year curse.
Oh, five-year relationship curse, Rose.
Is it on Netflix? Is it a new show?
Yeah,
I think I've seen it on the Netflix thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's popular. Is it popular? Do you know?
I think it was in the top 10 in Canada.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
why it
Maybe
came up for my recommendations.
It does sound kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like cheesy but interesting.
It is cheesy. There's more to it.
How many episodes have you watched?
I think maybe like 5.
God damn, Daniel, you'd be watching television.
Well, I was really, I had a lot of time on Saturday when I was like viciously hungover. So I watched some TV.
Okay. I think I'm going to watch it. Sounds fun.
Just watch the first couple episodes. If you get into it, fine. If you don't, like...
There was that other show that our friend recommended, and I didn't like it. She was like, oh my God, you're going to get super into this. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, Into the Night.
Oh, yes. And I was like, So I watched like one episode, but the premise sounded kind of cool, but I don't know why I just didn't get into it. Yeah, it was like basically, again, it's always on a goddamn plane, okay?
Yep.
As if people are not afraid of flying
I know,
already.
they need
Seriously.
to stop doing these plane
Seriously,
shows.
people are already so afraid of flying. And anyways, so basically the premise is that people get on the flight and then all of a sudden the world gets into a fucking shitstorm where basically if you're in daylight, everyone dies.
Yeah,
right?
The sunlight caused some kind of reaction with the people, like some kind of weird virus or something, and they just died. So when they caught on this plane,
it was going from somewhere at nighttime.
Yeah, at night, and they were just basically they got report of this, and they were like basically they have to continually fly, and they would gas up at different plane stations
into the night,
and they'd have to keep flying into the night and beat the sun.
Did you finish the show?
I can't remember. I did. I watched quite a few episodes because I was like really because to me it was such adrenaline all the time because they were like they always had to be beating the sun. So it's like they would land somewhere and they would have 2 hours and sometimes people get left behind and like crazy shit would happen. But it was always like go like this.
You like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I like those action.
You like the adrenaline rush. God damn, Danny.
Always chasing that adrenaline rush.
Okay, what's their next story? Do we have a last story? It's the last story.
Well, we kind of already talked about this, but in a previous episode. But I don't think we went into too much detail, did we?
Well, not it. Read the title. I'd be shocked.
Okay, Amazon UK destroys millions in unsold stock in a year, including MacBooks, face masks, TVs, and iPads.
Wow, your English accent got so much worse.
I wasn't doing an English accent, guys. I was doing a muddling accent.
What?
It was a muddled accent. It was, I don't know. It was a...
Amazon UK destroys millions in unsold stock a year, including MacBooks, face masks, TVs, and iPads.
So this is different
How's
than
that
what
accent?
That was wonderful, Rose. This is different from what we were talking about before, though, because this is talking about unsold stock, right? We were talking about returns.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is different. And I didn't know it was like MacBooks and shit. Like, what the mother?
So
this is like, this makes me so mad.
I know, it's so bad. So I guess a probe by British news outlet ITV has found that one of the Amazon warehouses in Scotland destroys millions of unsold products every year. It's not just perishable items being dumped either. They include, like as Rose mentioned, MacBooks, iPads, all of this stuff, and like this is stuff that hasn't been sold. Some of it's like still in its
brand
packaging.
new.
Yeah, some of it's still in its packaging. But it says, so part of the reason is that many vendors choose to house their products in Amazon's vast warehouses. But the longer the goods remain there unsold, the more the company is charged to store them. So it eventually becomes cheaper to dispose of these goods than to continue to store the stock.
Right.
Like, this whole business model is fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked. Like, the amount of waste makes me want to crawl into my I don't even know.
I know. It's like one of the comments of this climate activist apparently was like, it's just an unimaginable amount of unnecessary waste. It's absolutely shocking. Each of these items requires natural resources and carbon emissions and human labor to make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So much. And oh my God, we're seriously we better hope there's no hell because we all going to hell.
I know, this is so bad.
Like, seriously.
I do feel like a lot of it though is this this culture of like always needing to have the next new thing.
That's definitely one of the reasons.
Yeah, like and you know, like I was a big part of it for a long time. I still kind of am in many ways.
I think it's hard to escape it.
It is, yeah. But like, you know, even with like cell phones and stuff, having the new, like some people like get a new cell phone every single year, upgrade every single year, and it's like, you know,
when the phone works fine.
Exactly. So and we're getting into this like vicious cycle of like we don't just keep anything for any length of time anymore. It's just like thrown out, and it's like, well, all of this has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, can't they sell it at a discount?
Exactly. Could they not sell it at a discount?
But no, I don't think they're allowed to because certain brands, like for example MacBook, they probably don't allow you to sell it on a sale.
Yeah.
So it's fucked.
That is fucked up because it's like
because it devalues the see, that's another problem, right?
And so, you know what the root of this whole problem is?
Capitalism.
Yeah.
Seriously though, like fuck, that's so fucked up.
That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of companies out there. Well, not a lot, but like Apple, I think would be a good one. Where
for sure, Apple's doing this.
Yeah, where they like restrict the amount of discount that you can probably give on their product
100%.
in order not to flood the market, right? Like if all of these unsold, I guess MacBooks and iPads and stuff went to the market at a discount, it would create an imbalance where it would start driving down the price of the other goods.
Exactly.
In some way, depending on how many there were in there.
For
if
sure.
If there was like 2 or 3, it wouldn't matter.
Well, one of the reasons why things become, expensive is because of this perceived rarity, right? So they do the same thing with diamonds. Diamonds are fucking like, apparently there's so many diamonds, but they only release a certain amount because the only reason why diamonds are expensive is because people think it's rare.
Yeah.
Right. And I think they do similar things with cars. Like I've heard that like cars, like brand new cars get destroyed. Like I've heard shit like this too.
Yeah.
And like that's also like I want to puke thinking about how much we're like just wasting and it's same thing with like like brand named goods, for example, like Louis Vuitton or other expensive brands. It's because the prices are really high because only certain amount of people can get them, and we're all stupid, so we think that that's important. So then we all want to buy the expensive shit for whatever the fuck reason.
Another company that kind of uses that as their like marketing strategy.
Which one?
Kind of the same premise in some ways, but this whole idea of like restricting supply or making goods seem, and obviously like the goods that I'm talking about, they're not like super expensive, but like Disney kind of did something similar where I don't know if you remember, I don't know if they still do this, but they did this for a little while with some of their classic movies, is they would be like, you need to buy this movie right now.
Right.
Because otherwise, after a certain amount of time, it's going in the Disney vault.
And you can never get it.
And then, then you can't get it for like another 20 years or something. They would like put it into the vault for like a certain amount of time. And I feel like that was one way of trying to keep the costs of their like VHS and DVDs a bit higher.
Yeah.
And have a premium because of this perceived thing that if you don't get it now, well, you're not going to be able to get it. And that there's a restricted supply. Because if after it's closed up in the vault, they're not going to be producing anymore.
Right. You know who else does this?
Who?
Supreme. Have you heard of the brand?
Yes, I have heard. Oh my God.
Oh my God. They are the epitome. They are the epitome of it.
I will never understand Supreme, guys. Ever.
But literally the only reason, the literal only one reason why they are as expensive as they are and as popular as they are is because they do this exact thing where they like restrict the amount that you can get because it's literally it's a fucking hat with the word Supreme on it.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid. But then like people just eat that shit up.
And it is crazy, guys. So I don't know if we even have. Do we have a Supreme store here?
I don't think we do.
Oh, thank God.
I mean, actually, we don't. I don't know. I don't chase it.
No, I don't either. No, and I never have chased it. But I remember when I was in London, because London does have a Supreme store.
Yes.
And I remember like walking. I can't remember where it was. Like maybe,
I think
it's Covent Garden.
Yeah. I think I remember walking by, and there's always a line.
It was like no, but it wasn't just a line, Rose. It was a fucking insane line.
Oh my God.
And I remember, and it was all like
teenagers.
Young kids, like decked out with like some of them like really gangster looking, all this stuff. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, what the hell? Because I didn't realize what was going on at first. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I have no idea. And then I like walked up further and I could see they're all waiting to get in the fucking Supreme store.
Yeah.
And like, it's the same. Like I knew of a few people that used to do this where they would like buy limited edition shoes, like these Supreme, I think Supreme has shoes as well. Yeah. Or like, I think Yeezys also did this.
Oh, Yeezys does this
where
big
they were
time.
like super restricted and they would buy them purposely, like, because like apparently you have to sometimes put your name in a draw to get them, and this is like it's very difficult to get some of these products, I guess. And what they would do is some people, there's like a second market where they would get these things for like still ridiculous price, like £400, and then turn around.
It would be much higher, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
like
then
they would sell it much higher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then they would like buy it. They would somehow get their name on the list or whatever, get the shoes, and then sell them to someone else for like £1,000.
It's so stupid.
Like,
who are these people?
And the thing that got me the most about this, like, is especially with Supreme, and maybe I'm just old fashioned. I don't know, because like some designers and stuff, I'm like, the clothes look cool. They look good, you know. But I see Supreme and I'm just like, it literally is a hat that says fucking Supreme on it. Yeah. Like, and it's not like the letters are even a cool, like, you know, they're just kind of like Supreme.
It's literally a status symbol. Like that's the only reason why people wear it. You know what I mean? Because people know this is expensive.
Yeah.
And that is literally the only reason why anybody wants to wear it.
It's just like, I don't know.
Because it's literally like a fucking shirt or like a fucking hat.
And none of their stuff is like I said, it's like not that nice.
I know. I just don't get it. But you know, it works.
It's a marketing
model that works.
Exactly. But I feel like
but at least with that, I mean, I'm assuming they don't produce a bunch of
and then throw them out.
Exactly.
Yeah, they restrict production.
Exactly. Yeah. Like at least restrict the production. Like I don't know. Like you know, this whole throwing things out. This is worse. You know,
this is so much worse. I mean, another company or another few companies that came into a lot of heat around this whole like what's it called? With fashion as well. Oh my God, like it's just like
fast fashion.
Thank you. And it was
they all do this too.
Yeah, it became huge though. Like especially like I don't know if we even have them here in Canada, but in the US, in the UK, they have a really famous company called Primark.
Yeah.
And in Primark, guys, and I have bought stuff there.
It's so cheap.
It is,
but it's like you can just tell. It's like it can't be that cheap without using slave labor.
It's terrible quality. It's like the products they'll literally, but the whole point and the whole I guess marketing thing around Primark is you can buy cheap kind of almost like knockoff looking fashion things. So like if there was like a really trendy look from like Selena Gomez or someone like this, you could buy a similar outfit in Primark for like £10.
Yeah.
And then it would last you a day or a night out. And then you'd have to buy another outfit.
Yeah.
So this whole like quickly buying things, it's just like so bad.
I know.
And
we need to stop.
Yeah.
I definitely shopped at Primark and I'm not proud.
Yeah, I know. I'm not proud either.
Yeah.
I definitely did like back
It is like so cheap.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It would just be like, but then all the clothes like fall apart and like they just weren't that good.
But the thing is, another thing though, is that I'm just like, okay, so there's Primark, but we all already know there's other, companies that do fast fashion, maybe not in the extent that Primark does, but they also use, questionable supply methods.
Yeah.
And like, for example, like Zara, I'm pretty sure they've been caught up in some of that. H&M. So it's not even just, you can't just blame Primark.
Of course, it's not
this
just
whole
Primark.
like system, but Primark is probably like the epitome, right?
And it's the whole idea that like the thing is, I think it would be better. Well, obviously it would be better if we decided as a society to be like, you know what, let's get some quality pieces in our wardrobe that are like longer lasting versus this like, we need to know what's the spring look, what's the fall look,
but
what's the winter
whole
look.
System,
yeah.
Right? Because now apparently, did you hear that skinny jeans are out?
Are they?
Apparently, like apparently if you're like old, you wear like skinny jeans, and guess who has skinny jeans still?
Me.
I
have them as well.
Do you have skinny jeans?
I have a pair of skinny jeans.
Maybe for guys it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But apparently skinny jeans are out. So if you look at like young people, they're all wearing like baggy jeans.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just one example.
Yeah.
So fashion, I do understand that like there are certain styles that come and go. Like I get it, but you're right. When it's like so quick and it's just like things just being put out, and like the amount of clothes, if you think about a mall, the amount of stores in a mall and the amount of clothes on the rack of the malls, it's like, where are they going when you're not selling them?
Exactly.
Do they all need to be like, do you need to have so much in stock?
It's crazy.
Like it is insane.
And I do understand as well that as you get older, you dress differently like than you did when you're younger, and you do need like maybe some outfits for certain events and things like that. Like I get that. But yeah, I think there's some real, I mean, we're creating so many problems in society.
So many problems.
And fast fashion, we could probably do a whole episode on fast fashion because
probably should.
Yeah, because it's like, it's a huge problem.
Yeah, I really try not to now. Like I used to be a huge fast fashion consumer.
Yeah.
I was definitely, like, especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I want to follow this trend, and I don't want to spend too much money because like, who knows, this is going to be out of style in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. But I wanted to follow it. And like, don't get me wrong, I definitely have still shopped like in recent months, but I really try not to shop at the fast fashion things.
Yeah.
And especially now that I'm a bit older, I'm like less like, okay, I have to follow the trend.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I try to shop at like consignment stores or thrift stores as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with like stocking your wardrobe up with cool pieces
for
and stuff,
sure.
right? But it's the whole concept of like getting rid of it, like the next season, all this stuff. It's like, it's just so bad.
And like, I think we should normalize like consignment shopping, thrift shopping, reusing. Like this needs to become, I know that it's like a French thing and it's like seen as trendy.
Yeah.
But like we need to make it the norm, because I have like, there's friends out there that are like, oh, I don't want to wear something that somebody else wore. I'm like, bitch, it's been washed.
Exactly.
Like it's not like I'm asking you to wear someone's underwear. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been fucking washed.
Well, and the thing that gets me is like, especially for like men's consignment, like,
oh my God,
it's so bad.
Do you know why? Because men do not consign.
I know.
This is another issue.
Yeah. Well, because a guy would be like, that's, I'm not going to wear some other dude's shirt. I'm going to go get my fucking jeans somewhere else,
It's just so lame.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to like normalize it, Yeah. That's another, this is fucking disturbing.
I know this.
Like MacBooks.
I know. This is what got me though. I was like, how can this like, donate those products? Maybe don't sell them, but donate them. But
they're not allowed.
They're not allowed because again, if you donate a lot, like just think of it like, I'm just thinking that maybe there's like
there's
shitload.
probably thousands. Yeah. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah. So if they donated it again, it wouldn't flood the market necessarily for like, let's say it was MacBooks. Let's say there was 10,000 MacBooks in there, but they donated them across the UK.
Yeah.
That's 10,000 more MacBooks that they're not going to sell.
Exactly. That's one thing. Yeah.
So,
and you're right. It's definitely going to decrease the value of the product because now it's
more people have it.
Oh, it's like, oh, you can get it for free. Why would I pay like $3,000?
Exactly.
It's, oh God. But I mean, what's the answer? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, maybe don't stock up so much. I don't know. But I thought like, are there that many MacBooks? You know?
Apparently there are a lot of MacBooks out there.
There are a lot of MacBooks out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very concerning. And the fact that we already have so much waste.
Yeah.
So many things being thrown away. I mean, and we like you said, we like to throw away our used electronics very quickly, even if they're not broken.
Yeah.
So we already have that problem. And then now we're throwing away new electronics.
Not even to talk about all the plastic waste, all the garbage,
everything.
all the
We're
food waste,
fucked.
all the, like, I just, especially I feel like a big part of that issue is that, like, obviously, like, look at Calgary, for example. We live in a beautiful, clean city. You don't really see that much trash around because it's all going somewhere else.
Yeah. Apparently, well, have you been to the landfill?
I haven't, no.
My dad was like going to the landfill. I can't remember why. He was like throwing something out. He was like, "Do you want to come?" I was like, "No."
You're like, "Not really."
And then he was like, "You should want to come to these things. You know, you need to see where the trash is going." I was like, "Okay, Dad. Next time I'll go with you, but like I don't want to go today."
Yeah. But I mean, it's true. Like, I mean, and I'm sure that landfill is, think of this city of like 1 million.
I think it would depress me.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've seen that footage. Like, I know what it probably looks like.
Yeah.
But if I see it in person, I'd be like, oh my God.
It's like when I saw that plastic documentary and I saw all the plastic that was being shipped to Asia.
Oh my God.
It was fucking depressing.
Yeah.
And then they were trying to reuse some of it. And what they would do, I didn't realize this is part of the process, but they cut up and melt the plastic down into these little plastic pellets, they're called.
Okay.
Which they can then reuse to make new plastic.
Okay.
But one of the problems is sometimes these they're like little almost like micro beads of plastic, and sometimes that gets into the ocean.
Of
and
course.
Then,
and then kills all the ocean life.
God damn, guys.
Great. Once again,
we're ending on such a great note again, guys. Sorry about
it's
that.
It's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
What do we do?
It's like, what's the answer? Like,
I don't know.
I know that there's people thinking about this and there are some things happening, but I just don't know if it's, it does need to be like a step change.
Yeah.
Like not a step change, a faster change. So
I don't know. Anyway, guys, so that's what Amazon's doing. Great. Another great thing that Amazon's doing.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon, you're just doing some fantastic things out there.
Oh my God.
Not that I don't shop on Amazon.
I know this is another thing. It's like we are also contributing to this problem.
I know. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's true.
Yeah.
But maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah.
We should buy directly from the supplier.
God
yeah.
Damn. Well,
on
guys,
that happy note,
that concludes this episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching. If you are listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, don't forget to hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, help our little algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. What else, Rose?
Check us out on Patreon, guys. We do a bonus episode every single month. At this point, we have a lot of bonus episodes. There is some juicy content over there. So if you want to check us out for as little as $3 a month, it is patreon.com/TheSaVeg And yes, you do get the episodes a week earlier than everybody else and ad-free.
Ad-free, guys.
Yes, it is awesome.
Yep.
When are we going to get some sponsors?
Hopefully soon.
Oh, goddamn. We need to work on these. Okay. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.